Okay, this is a short video explaining how to set up a student account in the program that we call Gizmos, and then how to actually go about doing an assignment that's assigned in Schoology using Gizmos. So Gizmos is sort of the short name for the website explorelearning.com. So the first step to set up a student account is to know what the class enrollment code is, because each class has a different code. So students were given this handout to start with to set up an account. So they need to go to www.explorelearning.com. And once there, they're going to click on enroll in a class, and that button is in the upper right corner. And at that point, they're going to be prompted for the class code. So this is my period 6. This is the code for period 6. They enter that, and then they are prompted to create a new account. So they can use any username and password that they would remember. So make sure they write it down. Once they have a username and password, they can go ahead and log in. When they log in, they will see the list of gizmos that we've been working on. Then they would need to go to Schoology to know what the actual assignment is. So the one that we're going to look at is the roller coaster gizmo. That was one of the harder ones. We've been building up to that. We started with a pendulum gizmo, something called Sled Wars, and then they had a roller coaster gizmo, which was a little more complex than the other ones. So the assignment is here. You would click on the assignment, and you would see the instructions. So all of this is in Schoology. The actual assignment for Gizmo is in Schoology, and here are the instructions. It tells the student to go to explorelearning.com, log in with your username and password, choose the gizmo called roller coaster physics, because there's going to be a list of a bunch of different gizmos that we've been working on. And then it says the student should open the worksheet that's attached. It's a Word document, and that's where the answers are going to be written down, and it'll be submitted here in Schoology. So they're working on this worksheet, and then they submit it here in Schoology. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the worksheet. So Word document, so you can write in it. So here it is. I'm going to scoot it out of the way so we can now go to Explore Learning. And here's the home page. We are now ready to click on roller coaster physics, and we're ready to launch the gizmo. The website also has some teacher information that I don't think students have access to. There's assessment questions that they can play around with, but the actual assignment is the Schoology assignment, the worksheet that comes off the assignment. So I'm going to launch the gizmo, and then I need to get my worksheet back so I know what I'm supposed to do. Here's the worksheet. It gives you some vocabulary words up front that the student should be familiar with: friction, gravitational potential energy, kinetic energy, momentum. And then there's always a couple prior knowledge questions, just to make sure that the student has the background knowledge. So these are things that the student should have learned in class. And then there's a warm-up section where the student sort of gets used to working with the commands that are in the gizmo. And then there's an actual activity. So this one, like I said, is a little more complex than the other gizmos they've had. This has an activity A with the instructions at the beginning, and it has an activity B with the instructions at the top. So you would start by working on the prior knowledge questions, and it tells you do these before using the gizmo. Sally gets onto the roller coaster car, a bit nervous already. Her heart beats faster as the car slowly goes up the first long, steep hill. Number 1, what happens at the beginning of every roller coaster ride? Well, so the student should stop and think, well, there's probably got to be something with potential energy, and they might remember that a machine pulls the car up to the starting point, giving it GPE max. Okay, and then they would go on and answer the next question. Then they're ready to do the warm-up, and it says the roller coaster physics gizmo models a roller coaster with a toy car on a track that leads to an egg. You can change the track or the car. All right, let's look and kind of play around with it. This is what it looks like. So even before the student starts on the questions, you can start just playing around with different things and seeing how it works. So that you can have a car that has a different mass. You can change the height of the hills. You can add additional hills. You can add friction. You can show a graph. Okay, but you ultimately want to follow the instructions that are on the worksheet. So it says, for the first experiment, use the default settings. Hill 1 equals 70 centimeters, Hill 2 is 0, Hill 3 is 0, and we're using a 35-gram car. All right, so we want to choose this car. We need Hill 1 at 70, and Hill 2 is 0, Hill 3 is 0, friction is 0, and we can leave the graph on or off at this point. It's not, it isn't giving us those instructions yet. All right, so we've done that. Press play and roll the 35-gram toy car down the track. Does the car break the egg? All right, let's see. We've got it all set up the way it should be, and we hit play. There goes the car, and no, it does not break the egg. And it even tells us the simulation has stopped. Your toy car touched the egg, but it did not break it. All right, now we need to go back to the worksheet and type in, no, it did not break the egg. All right, question number 2. Click reset. Set Hill 1 to 80 centimeters and click play. Does the car break the egg? All right, hit reset, move the hill a little bit higher, and the student should be thinking, oh, okay, I'm giving it more potential energy. The car is starting off with more GPE, so that should translate into more kinetic energy. So now we're curious if that will be enough energy to break the egg. So click play, and yes, and it tells us the simulation has stopped. Your toy car broke the egg. Now we go back to the worksheet, and we say, yes, it did. Yes. Okay. So you keep on going with the different commands. You change the different commands in Gizmo, and then you're ready to do activity A, and it tells you what to do there, and you're answering questions as you go. And like I said, this is more complex than the other ones because this Gizmo has 2 activities that we're doing, A and B. Okay, and then when you're done, you save the worksheet and go back to Schoology and submit it in Schoology. You submit it here. Okay, and that is how you set up an account, how you use the assignment in Schoology to follow the steps in Gizmo.